Well, I felt like doing another stream today, and this was the big news, along with I guess the inauguration and yeah, there were a lot of stuff going on this um, today. But I wanted to model Bernie's mitts, so yeah, that's what we're doing here. And let's just add a cube, and let's turn on screencast keys right here, so you can see uh, all the buttons that I'm pressing. Yeah, so first thing we're gonna do is have a base mesh, uh, just extruding, keeping it simple enough to. What's up, man? You got me into sculpting? Oh, great! Yeah, actually just right before this saw your video on Patrick Stewart's sculpt. That was, yeah, pretty cool. Trying it out. Um, yeah, it's a lot of fun, right? But don't know if you've played with ZBrush or anything. But yeah, anyway, right here we've got the thumb, and then yeah, and then 1, 2, and 3. Right, these cycle through edge, point, vertice selection and stuff. But yeah, if we just take a little bit of time to model this right here, and make sure these are kind of even. So maybe we'll do the long way first. Yeah, so 4 across. And yeah, so just keep these as square as possible. They'll matter when we subdivide for sculpting. This is just so we don't have to retopologize it later. But yeah, and if you were optimized model, you might dissolve some of these edges or whatever. But yeah, that's enough to start the mesh, I think. Yeah, let's and then you can just subdivide it here. You can use the modifier, but it's not much of a difference at this point. And we can always rebuild these subdivisions later on using the multi-res modifier if that's the route we want to go. But yeah, here's enough geometry to work with. We don't need to go much higher in resolution because there's not a whole lot of detail on here. But yeah, so we can get that in. Stream of the Scorpion and Robot Arm. I think you made a building too. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah. I started Sculpt January, which yeah doesn't flow off the tongue as well as Sculpt Tober, which I think is the other one I've heard of. But yeah, I started that, and then yeah, stuff got in the way. I was like, I just need to work on my portfolio personally, and because it's easy to make a lot of projects and then end up with a lot of projects that you started and not a lot that you've finished. So like that's why it's kind of nice to focus on something small like the mittens, because after an hour, I won't feel like, oh man, I haven't finished Bernie's head or or the code or whatever. I can just be like, yeah, we did this one thing, we accomplished it. Yeah, hope you liked that. And yeah, and that's kind of like, it is nice to sort of speed through things and get ideas out, and that's another side of that. It just really depends on where you're at, and I wasn't at the best place. So I mean, in terms of what I thought I needed to do. But yeah, and right here, that's kind of happens when you're too far from the mesh and then sculpts inwards. Hopefully they'll fix that at some point. Really, the best way is just to smooth it and dissolve. Yeah, I don't have a job yet, but I'll, in the industry, but I'll be applying soon. I don't know. Why do you ask? You got any offers? Yeah. So a lot of time spent doing this for fun, but yeah, it'd be great to make some money, and that's not like $5 on Gumroad or something. But I mean, I've had the nice thing about this is like you have the freedom to do your own personal project, to not have to do it for the money, just to make a living. Because when if you're making a lot of money helping the wrong people, I guess you're kind of paying for it in some way or another. But yeah, just a thought. But yeah, I mean, I've worked at a studio, and I mean, I just graduated undergrad like a year ago, so. My strongest area, I mean, is probably sculpting. I worked at a design studio. We did like event designs for a while. and I just let's subdivide this one more time. Environment design, I've worked in college. I worked in this research lab where we did VR stuff, and that was, so I learned a lot about just working with VR, and we were using Unity, the game engine, and so we were doing like simulations for like safety stuff that you can't like one was like for road crossing alert systems, and then where can I find my portfolio? I'm just working on it right now. It's if you go on Zach Nelson on ArtStation Z8K, NELSON, it's on there. But I'm gonna be linking that soon. But it's actually just recently been have enough added to it that it's a full portfolio. But there's some videos where it's like this isn't quite ready for portfolio, and that's actually something I'm currently just still in the middle of working on. It's like it's the thing about being picky is you get sort of it can be hard to share stuff sometimes because you're just like, hey DSO, welcome back. And here I'm going to do unwrapping, and this is actually where I'll add the multi-res modifier. So even because I've subdivided this and haven't added any other geometry to it, we can go to generate, rebuild subdivisions, and if I go into edit mode, so it rebuilt it to this level. Looks like it didn't, so that's not the lowest point that it subdivided, but we're trimming the seams. We want to look at the poles, so put one here. I think his mittens are split straight in half. There's one where his hand's on a pole right here. So you can see there's a split right there, and we can kind of use that maybe to determine the different materials. I do. I mean, I guess I kind of, as a kid, I started out with 2D, so I do a lot of that. Do I use Denotopo? If you run it in this case, Denotopo is great for starting your overall shape, and you can retopologize it later if you need to do that, if you want it to be usable mesh later on. But in this case, I modeled it beforehand, so I had clean topology to work with. It was pretty simple geometry. It's a simple shape, so it doesn't cost much to do that. Is America becoming that horrible? There's a lot of things you could be referring to there. It's I don't know what to say about all that. Let's just put a loop here so that wraps all the way around. After all that, let's just thinking and talking, you don't always make the best decisions, so that's my excuse there. But let's see, and then there's something. The strange part is the thumb, which I think there's like a seam that comes up there. So let's find the pole. So this is 5 as opposed to 4 where the rest of them go. So that disrupts the flow, and that's why it's a good place to put a seam. That's also where, when you subdivide something, that will always be on the base mesh. Money printing. I don't know, I haven't heard about that. I mean, and as an artist, I don't think it's healthy to, don't take political advice from me, because I'm just an artist. Go to, I mean, I personally, if you want to find a good news source like NPR or BBC, but that's kind of out of the scope of this channel. So, it's kind of interesting to get like an insider's view. If, maybe I'm one of the few accesses you might have to that, but I'm not really worth it in that regard. So, let's see. So, I mean, let's we could start being kind of very particular about the shape here, but we could probably just go into texturing at this point. I mean, maybe I could just use the draw sharp tool, put a little seam in the middle. Make sure don't get hit. Yeah. So for sure. Yeah, things are devaluing everywhere. Buy property while you still can. That's what I often hear. And yeah, really depends on like the industry that you're working in. Yeah, it's pretty tough. Yeah, the recession and all that. Yep. But yeah, it is important. Okay, so let's open the UV editor here. Unwrap with the seams. Okay, that's pretty good. It's pretty straightforward. And muscular anatomy. Yeah, I mean, I've studied anatomy in the past. I took a figure drawing class. A lot of stuff you can learn drawing, you can translate to sculpting. It's all about just adjusting values, whatever. So, and then tool, base color. Yeah, and then and if you go into face mode and you select linked, you can select individual islands. Otherwise, if it's edge mode or vert mode, it won't be so obvious. And then, so texture paint, effect only selected, does that, so it masks out the other areas. And so let's get the overall base color of these different sections. So we want to get this right the first time, so we don't have to redo it, but not that hard to redo. So it's going to be brown, and then Alt A to deselect, link it. What color is that, Artham? I'm going to say that's the blue part, yeah. Well, look who invaded Blender after meme. He's everywhere. Yeah, he's even made it into a Blender tutorial. Yeah, pretty crazy. Pretty viral. Yeah, so that's the front part. Tricky part is the inner part, which best view is this. And then, yeah, there's one other image that. So, yellow, let's line that. Saturation, bring that down, brings it closer to white. Value makes it brighter. So, yeah, if we bring it there, and then I think it's blue on the other part. There was, yeah, this part. Oh, so there's another seam here that runs across. Interesting. Darn. Oh, you know what? That's fine. We'll just put a seam there just to work with, but I'm not gonna redo the UVs, and that's fine. So, and can I still sample that? Okay, cool. Even though it's not selected, I can sample from that, and then go into link. And by the way, this is tab to switch that, and go to edit preferences, tab for pie menu. In one of the settings, edit preferences, input. Wait, yeah, key map, tab for pie menu. These are my settings. I like right click. There are a few reasons why. One's like, easier, more distributed ease on the hand. They changed that just to be more friendly to new users, but I think they made them maybe I'm a little biased because they changed that early on, but yeah, it's good to try it. Maybe it takes a little getting used to, but I did switch to left click for a little while, but oh, and then there's this band on this part right here. Yeah, so let's select this part, and with texture paint we can okay, well, this brown is kind of more of the brown we want, and then right here, let's make that a little lighter. Yeah, it looks pretty good. And yeah, let's save that. And I'm gonna pack this, which will just save it in the file. I just always have to remember to save it every time I save it down here, because if it saves to the file and you don't save the file, then it's gonna be lost. So, and this is a huge glove, but let's see, S divided by 10. Yeah, I mean that's about right, right? I'm not we don't use the metric system in the United States, so I'm not sure. I mean, I guess I could just type into this. So along the y-axis, that's let's say like 6 inches. Okay, so about that. So let's go with that. And let's see about this. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna directly paint this. I could do a tileable pattern, but it doesn't repeat enough maybe to merit that. So yeah, let's. Did you hear about Great Reset? No. So Control-7. You know what? Let's change the stroke of this. So to make sure we always ends up straight, under stroke, change that to line. Yeah, so that'll be better. And it's got all these pluses going on it. So it'll be easier to do the pluses overlapping. Let's do 2 rows of pluses. Yeah, and yeah, it's a little messy, but I'm doing it pretty fast, you know. So, let's make this a little wider. See, I'm gonna put a green plus on the inside of this. So I can sample this, and then. Well, that's looks pretty good. I mean, good enough, right? Because there's a little bit of fade on the edge, like we could probably use that when we shade it as well. To give a little bevel on the edge. Kind of a messy way to do that, but yeah, whatever. So, oh, perfect. Yeah, close enough. And then, yeah, let's look at the pattern on the side. There's a lot of good views of that. I mean, I could just take this image and then paint it on top of here, but, you know, it's hard to get physically accurate stuff from that, even though the occlusion looks pretty in line with, like the dark parts are where the deeper parts are. but we're going to want, let's see, just gonna, I'd rather just paint all of it. So it doesn't bleed over the other. Let's go to edit mode, face select, linked, texture paint, okay. And then bring this down to here. And then, yeah. And then let's, bring the brown, but not totally brown, bring the saturation. Just fine tune that till we get that. So let's try a little bit lighter. Could go into solid view, flat shading. It gives a better idea of what those values we're putting down are. Because there's shadows on the picture and there's shadows in here, so you're going to get a little thrown off. And then, yeah, so let's link this, texture paint. Yeah, let's, oh yeah, and edit mode, okay, face, there. So all the comments, cool. So I'm not sure why this is slightly darker, right? Yeah. I gotta make sure. Oh yeah, I must have sampled from the fade in between, so wasn't that perfect color there. And yeah, this looks pretty shit right now, right? But yeah, all part of the process. We're gonna get there. So, well, I don't know. Maybe not in this video. It might just pop up on my ArtStation at some point. Yeah. And then, so I think this is actually the same shade. It's down there. Same type of yarn. And then interior checks out. This pattern is copied kind of lazily. Let's and then let's so yeah, seeing in perspective, that's a little more satisfying. And then there's a white section of that. Yeah. Let's see if we have a better view of that. Right there. Not sure what's going on there. It's like kind of stripy or like a zigzag. If only I was an expert on stitching pattern, or this is knitting patterns. trying to decrease the difference. But I don't want to adjust the strength because I want it to be a solid color throughout. So that's okay. Let's make this so. Oh yeah. So take this brush, copy this. It's just yeah, just like that, and then this white, totally white. Little poly tutorial. Yeah, I know you're interested in that. Yeah, when I think it really comes down to the subject, and a lot of times the style comes out. But yeah, I think things that are accessible to beginner levels. So yeah, good idea. But you know, there's some tutorials in mind as well. You'll see. Yeah. Poly's gone. That'd be cool if they were called Poly's gone. Let's see. And then I'll go back in sculpt mode and yeah, put a matte cap on there so easy to read. And could go up another. Okay, that's the highest level. So one more, and then no more after this. That's enough of subdivisions right there. So there's a little. So now we're getting into the little details, huh? If only we could see the texture in sculpt mode. Because if, even if we go here, turn on texture, object mode, we can see it starts there. But, yeah. But we can hope for the best there. And then, let's remove these. Details too soon. Notice now I'm doing this other area, but let's just use that, and then maybe bring this in a little. And then control that curvature. Normal materials and not textures. You mean you don't like realistic materials? Like you prefer just one color map controlling everything? Yeah, I think they have their pros and cons. I think it's really cool to develop as far as you can something, realize that like what kind of material you want, because that can really affect the feeling and the texture, and it adds a lot of dimensions to how you can control that. Base color, if it's just the base color driving things, it's more lightweight in that, like, better for mobile games or whatever. And it's quicker to make because you only have to worry about one material quality. You just have to be a good painter. And the texture then can carry the model, and you don't have to model as much, so it's a lot faster. Like modeling and baking things down, maybe. You can skip all that with that, but really depends on the style you're going for, what your message is. I mean, if what you're doing is for the message and like getting ideas out, I think a lot of the time you're missing the point if your goal is just to make everything photorealistic, But like I said, it's everything has a use, has a place. Here for the memes. Okay. Yeah, in the last 5 minutes, I'm gonna model an entire Bernie Sanders. Just kidding. Did I lose my? I lost all that pinned. Whatever. I'll do it again, I guess. No, please don't sign off. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, let's do this again. So, and let's rotate you. Sorry, Bernie. Okay. Let's see. So when I'm making brown, I always start with orange and then adjust the saturation there. And then, of course, to bring that to the other tool, I have to copy this and then do that because it saves the tool there, which is a great feature, but also kind of gets in the way. I think let's work in just solid color right here. So, and then we'll deal with the lighting later, which will affect the colors a bit. So working without lighting at this stage is helpful. And let's reduce the saturation, bring down the darkness a little, and is this still painting? Yeah, it's still lines, so great, that's what I want here. And then, yeah, so let's actually bring the value up, and then she's talking about this whole tutorial right here. DSO is a meme where yeah, because Bernie got a lot of attention for wearing his mittens today, even though he's been wearing them for a while. But yeah, it's kind of what got me to get up on here and do another live stream for y'all. So yeah. Let's see. Why isn't that painting? It might be because I'm too close to the mesh. That happens sometimes. Nope. Okay, what's going on? Yeah. Hope somebody in the chat figures that out. Yeah. Okay. Something to do with the masking there, but that wasn't. Oh yeah. So I guess that isn't selected anymore. Alt A, link. So it should paint on this. Yep. Okay. Just S to select that color, and I don't know, just making it more interesting texturally. Cool. And I could add some feels with the shader as well. So yeah, orange, and then desaturate it, bring down the value. So you think brown is like all the colors, but yeah, it's really more red and yellow than it is blue, right? So, see how that looks. Yeah, it's pretty spot on. Do it again. You forget to save, just do it again, only better. It's the best workflow. Tip. Let's save this. Save the images often. Common mistake is like closing the file and forgetting that you haven't saved the images with the file. So, yeah. Now I'm being a little more specific about the shapes than I was last time. It's kind of fun. Guess we'll go more for a stylized Bernie here. You know, what I really should be doing here is starting with like the largest shape, and then because these are all kind of layered on top of each other, like the white part and then the beige part and then the black part, they're all layered. That was bad. It was pretty rushed. So let's bring that to the edge, and then sample this again, and where to send it. Some feedback, yeah. You could put like a link in the comments right now. I mean, like in the chat afterwards. I don't think you can put links in like the discussion. And then I'll comment, and then everybody can see it, whatever, if it's helpful to other people. It's just, I've thought about like making a Discord or something, but I still have yet to learn how to use that properly, let alone manage it, so, yeah. And then let's save it. So we have all that. And I guess did I model extra? Sometimes I do this. Yeah, I did this with if you saw the boot one, where I somehow end up making things like longer than they actually are. At least narrower. I'm just gonna bring all this out, so like that. Oh yeah, and let's remove the mask. Don't need you anymore. Cool. I mean, let's keep it as a face set just in case. Face for mask, and we can use that as a mask later, which is kind of nice. And yeah, let's bring this out. And Facebook. Yeah. Well, yeah. Don't want to open the floodgates to my private life or whatever. So right now this is on YouTube or whatever. At some point I want to leave Facebook. For not the best company. Don't need it. I mean, there's like so many like friends from like college or so it's like, it's easy to keep in contact with people that you don't normally talk to, even though I never talk to them. So hopefully, at some point I'll have a way of deleting that while still being contacted with people that matter. Yeah, but Facebook. Let's go. So, it's pretty good. Let's just jump into shading. Try to get that somewhere. So we have this image texture here, and we have Voronoi, and we have the cell position here. Real quick, we could just plug that in right there, and if I plug a UV coordinate into this Voronoi texture, again there, and then it's pink because it doesn't know what texture shows, so we just click on that and it shows it and it knows. It just didn't know what to paint on right there. It's pink. It's a common thing in a lot of programs. So right here, this is just solid view with texture activated, but if we want to go in shading view, we can see the actual material qualities here, so we can scale that down. See, these are all like cells. It's like a grid of position stuff. And if I look at this, see, it's all pixelated. And right, that's kind of in the right direction, But yeah, we want it to be. So what we're gonna do is just going to make a plane. That's just easier. The mapping, UV mapping is weird on this, but the plane wraps to the whole UV space, 0 to 1, the whole, so UVs, by the way, they're just coordinates, like X, Y, and Z. It's a U and V, because X, Y, and Z are taken by 3D, right? So, and right here, we have the scale for this. So 3 shows 3 of them, but it's offset. So let's change the position there. And that's why I'm using this vector math node, Shift A, vector math, converter, vector math, yeah. I do it so fast because of the shortcut keys, the underline letter. You do that over time, it's a lot faster. Right, good night, TSO, take care. And get some good rest. But yeah, here, so that's in the center. And rather than scale it right here, I'm just going to bring that to 1, and then we're going to scale it on this part. And that's just kind of a reason of having that control there, consistent. So 3 is, I have 3, and then there's 3 in a row. It's nice and consistent. And we'll look at this. And we're doing all this because we want, so if I hold on control, this actually makes an integer, which is kind of cool. So dragging and then hold control. Notice the scale number right here. To zoom in, so maybe if the connection's a little dodgy, you can read a little easier. It's an integer, so it's nice and even. But yeah, so here's 5, and then if I plug in a wave texture, so with a wave texture, 1 repetition, well, it's based on pi because it's based on the sine wave, which is a math thing about the something about a circle revolving, like if you think sine wave, and so because circles are all about pi, pi r squared is the surface area of pi. So this may sound, this is all over the place, but basically, long story short, based on pi. So, but for some reason, when you have it 1 UV space, it repeats 10 times. So divide by 10, and so we have 1 UV square, and we have wave texture. And I'm doing this because if we use an wait, hold on. Separate XYZ and combine XYZ. If you can't find something, just search it at the top right there, and then you'll, the next time you do it, you'll do it faster. But yeah, just connect these. It's the same thing here. There's no Z. And this is U and V space, but the same thing, it just uses red and green. But we want it to distort on the Y dimension, so, or the V dimension, I guess. But yeah, not confusing at all, right? So we plug this in, we get that distortion in this direction. It's just looking that way because there's different outputs for the UV texture that do different things. And we'll make this, instead of a sine wave, we'll make it a triangle. And then we'll see if we're doing this right here. Yeah, I think that's right. I think we want it per cell. So I think we have to divide this by 2 again. Yeah, so that's the right width, and then let's just shift it over. So that's probably pi divided by like 20 or something. Times 2. I don't know. Yeah, whatever. It's somewhere around there, and that's all we need to know here. And we just are sure that because it scales, it adds after it scales, that this won't get out of shape. But yeah, it could be more and more off the further you get from it. So that's a reason to be mathematically precise there. So yeah, and now we have this, and then, we would want it to be long and not longer, so what we're gonna have to do is multiply and divide, I think. So it's gonna change, So whatever value I put in here, we're going to put in the other place. So because we're targeting that, so make sure these are both 1 and 1. The z again doesn't matter. No difference, doesn't go anywhere. Let's see. Mins are so wholesome. Yes, thank you. Yes. Yeah. Bernie Sanders wholesome, you know? That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. What am I doing? I'm gonna multiply. Yeah, it doesn't matter whether I do this before or after, but I don't know. It just feels right putting it there. And then hope I'm not getting lost here. Very well might be. Let's see. Let's just forget about this. Was I on the right track here? Plug that in there. No. I think. So if I forget all of this. Sophia from the Golden Girls. Okay, there's an idea. I'll have to watch all of the Golden Girls, though, before I do that, right? So if I do NA and divide by 1, put that in here. This will give scale it in the opposite direction. It's important because I'm using these cells to change the coordinates here. When I scale it, I need to put this in here. Man, this is going badly. Okay, let's just okay. 1 divided by 1. What if I'm just doing extra. Come on. Let's get these. So that looks good, but that's totally off. And that's because this is still distorting this. Yeah, I do need to scale this here. But then, immediately after, yeah. So it goes, so otherwise the cells will be in the wrong spot. So like if I put this by 1 divided by, see that's good, yeah. So, yeah, great. Divide, 1 divided by, put that in there, what I'm multiplying here, yeah. Sorry, it's so hard to explain what I'm doing. It's a lot easier to show off than, to just like, it's easier to lose everybody. Kind of show off there than actually explain what I'm doing, but yeah. What's going on? Okay. Hey, Humongous Blaze, welcome back. What am I doing here? It's all falling apart. So if I look at the UVs, this is what it should look like. And then, oh yeah, and then we gotta shift this back too, because yeah, this is what I'm forgetting to do here. I need to yeah, 0.5. But am I getting this order right here? Oh, might not be. I think this goes here. Alright, so that should fix it. So what am I doing wrong here? Let's see. So that'll... Oh, yeah. So I think this needs to be offset by what multiplying here. So this, yes, okay. So this is 0.5 times. So it's going to be half of where I'm scaling it by. Yeah. Okay, interesting. Well, it's getting better, I think. It's going from this, I'm going to that. Oh, because we're getting pink. That's happens because this is adding 3 values, x, y, and z. So it's probably actually fine. So yeah, I mean here we've add, and that looks like that, except it's distorting in that direction. And then we just want to make it cells. So, why is the coordinates down there? Here it's up there. Sup, Kenzie P. Oh, because this is not the right scale. Because, wait. Is it... sound? Yeah, I mean that's the same number as this is. So for some reason that should sort it out, right? It's slightly off for a reason that escapes me, but we should get, yeah, okay, beautiful. And this is the scaling thing that'll, yeah, oh great. After all that, I mean it's not a lot of nodes, but yeah, we can see where this is getting us. And then we could use, just add more variation. So I'll probably use linear light for that. These are just different mixing nodes. Maybe we'll do a video on those at some point, so that's kind of helpful. But So this will push it in different directions. But I think I only want it to push in black and white, like lighter or darker. So, well, you can do try overlay. It's similar where it's multiplying rather than adding. So shifting rather than stretching. That's how the values are. But we could also convert this to black and white. Let's see. Color, bright. Why am I forgetting where this is? RGB to black and white. Yep. I'm gonna put that in there. And then let's try it. Let's check it out. Yeah, yeah, pretty nice, huh? So distance. Control Shift D. I'm gonna make an identical one. We're gonna make this slightly different type of Voronoi. Distance to edge, which is gonna give us a sharp edge. We're just gonna try this out. This is not gonna be perfect, but from a distance, I mean, it's gonna work. So right here, we can multiply this by the Voronoi texture. And yeah, and I just wanted to see what it would look like with that drawing, but I mean now that I see that, it's like, yeah, it would look better if this goes in here first, so we have those seams on top of it. But we want notice this is distance to edge, so gradient that continues to the center point. So we want to chop off some of that. So yeah, there's something like that. And then maybe make this. Actually, let's just make a darker version of what it is here. Darken might be better for that, yeah. And that's kind of what you want in a base color anyway. And then, yeah, let's use, oh yeah, we already have this bump here, yeah. And plug it into the height, plug this in the normal, and it's going to be pretty extreme here. Oh, and this needs to be plugged in there. You like how it's looking. Thanks. Kenzie P. and Ken P. Any relation? No, but seriously though, are you guys related? Yeah, so let's, yeah, we're gonna get that sharp edge just because that's the type of Voronoi that is. But let's see, we could use cardinal, gives us a nice curve. Bring those values a little closer, so maybe we don't have to do so much fine tuning in the end. I mean, we could experiment with if we made it this kind of Voronoi, but it's going to be like a circular thing. I mean, I prefer it. Neither of them are perfect. In terms of bump, yeah, I'm liking them more. And then what's missing is like the strandy texture. So we could, that would be going other direction. So yeah, let me just talk through how I'm gonna do this. So this is going across. So the if I use texture coordinate, same you know. And then I think this only gets the y coordinate. Going across. Yeah, so if I only give it the y coordinate, it's stretched along the x coordinate. This topic is very trendy. Thanks. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, this is all for the search algorithm. Let's see how this pays off. Come back in a month, see how many views this gets. Yeah. Number one on YouTube all time. Okay. Let's see. If we want these strands, maybe let's give it a little x, but actually just multiply and then 1. But I'm still gonna separate that because I do want to. So if I bring this close to 0, like 0.05, yeah, get sort of maybe something more resembling the variation you get in infrared. Directional noise is what they call in Substance Designer, yeah. And let's see. So along the y-axis we're shifting this up. So mix there, and then linear light, and then color. And then let's turn that up. Hold down shift just so that we can fine tune it. Fine tune that variation. Let's try to match what we have here. So sorry, it's getting a little messy here. I should clean that up, but maybe it's too much for a live stream to be clean. Should start with good etiquette, just to clean this nicely. Use your snap tool so it conforms to the grid. But multiply. I'll just use linear light, get that variation in there. Thread. So it lightens and darkens things, which is kind of nice. And then if you look at the bump directly, don't look at it too directly, burn your eyes out. But we can just put something here. Control how much that influences the bump there. Yeah, something like that, good enough. And don't put this much effort onto your character's gloves. You're wasting your time. But this is for the meme, okay? It's only reason to justify something like this, I think. So, I think like all of this should, have a subsurface. So the light reflecting in it comes out a different color, and that's going to be like yellowish, orange yellowish. And the default is like skin subsurface, like when you shine a flashlight through your hand, like red and orange comes out. But I think we can turn that on, yeah. No, it's already, yeah, it's activated. I think that's the only time I've ever questioned that it turns on, but yeah. Turn on the roughness. Well, let's look at this. Not very shiny, pretty consistently rough. But I think like if you want that kind of specularity in it, we can use what we have for the bump here. Let's take a look at what that is. Control Shift click. If you click a node, you can sample and look at what it's doing. And yeah, so right here, we actually want this is the black part. It's going to be more reflective. This will be more rough, right? This is going to roughness. So white being 1, black being 0. I want to flip it. And yeah, so let's check that out. Yeah, it's pretty nice. Let's bring this light really close so you can see. Ooh, yeah. And then now we can adjust this value. And then, oh yeah, and no subsurface showed up because we didn't turn this up. Like, we can adjust the color, but this will adjust the value. But never put this over 0.5 because then it's like not really what we were doing. I would just use, maybe, to make it slightly based off of what's above it, you can use the mix shader and then screen, and then if we put this in here, yeah, and let's make it a little bit yellowish in terms of saturation. Drag it over so it's the yellow zone. Yeah, and let's test out in cycles. Eevee isn't perfect for that kind of thing, and what I love is the denoising feature. So automatic, we'll just pick the best version of denoising. So this is in your viewport. If you want it in your render, check that. But so yeah, so maybe that's a bit much, eh? Yeah, I mean, there's Bernie Sanders' mitten. If that's not what you see, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, I think. Let's make the. We never plug this in. Rookie mistake. Let's plug in the values here into subsurface. So if here, I love like the painterly. It's sorting itself out until it gets something more accurate. Because it's just sampling random pixels, like sending out light to itself. But yeah, so it's gonna get a lot more subsurface there. But again, this is 1, so let's bring that down to like what values at 0.3. So that's like a dark gray, and this is going to be even darker. So like if that was 0.24, this is 0.1. That's fair, right? And yeah, I think my theory is like the more ink there is, the less it's gonna shine through. Yeah, and I love Eevee, but like more and more I've been noticing, ooh, like cycles, like you're physically accurate, you know? So yeah, pretty great. And is there anything else we're missing? I mean, okay, I think I installed a timer app a while back. There's some good stuff in there, yeah. But I'll make a video about it at some point. What do I? Let's whatever. Okay, I'll just keep an eye on the clock. So at 10 o'clock, we're gonna try to get a full Bernie Sanders here, low poly 5-minute tutorial right here. So get my reference ready here, and okay, let's do the folding chair. There's the seat of it. I've already made a mistake. I've already made 10 mistakes. Okay, cool. And then I'll P to poke it, and then edges there, and then only faces, and then let's separate this part, and then okay. Oh boy. Snapping to the edge. Oh, what am I doing? Okay. Let's just grow that selection, subdivide it. Wait, what? Subdivide it. Oh, it's the smoothest and it's not. Yeah. Okay, great. So let's just extrude that there. And symmetrize this guy. And positive and negative. Is this flipped? The chair's flipped. Okay, whatever. And then, like, I always like things pointing in a certain direction. And see, I'm going to separate because this area is going to be converted to a curve. I'm going to add some geometry to it. And I'm using depth right there. So it has a nice little bevel. Not so nice if you look at that edge right there. But hey, we're on a time crunch. And I'm just going to cover it. I'm just going to cover my mistake right here. Just Alt-S and bring this out here. And we only have 3 minutes left. And we just finished. We haven't even finished the chair. So let's just let's work on Bernie here. So side view, bring it up. If we come to wireframe, we can see the edge there, so that's important. And okay, here comes Bernie. Okay, we gotta put him in the pose that he is. So, you know, in this iconic, you know, arms crossed. Yikes. Okay, I'm gonna fail at this, but that's okay. Failure is important. And then, what do I do? Oh, okay. There's the monkey. Well, let's just use the monkey head. Very useful, super, you know, essential primitive object. I mean, it's literally a primate, so I guess that's why it's there with the other primitives. That must have been what they were thinking. Never thought about that one. Okay, so, and then let's just select this part, and then Shift D, and then bring it out, and then individual origins, and then scale it, and then maybe make it a little wider, and then let's just select these edges. Boy, 2 minutes. Here we go. And then select linked. Piece selection, make it separate, and just want to scale all of this out a little bit. So from the center. And then, how am I gonna do this? Okay, so this is right midden. Uh-oh, we're down to 1 minute. Sometimes just play to failure, you know? Next one. We're just gonna have to go down on top of here. Oh, wrong thing. So select this. Okay. And then it's always relative to our point of view, so if I use snake hook snake hook right here, just gonna bring that out, and then inflate it so we don't run out of stuff to sculpt with, and yeah. Okay, 10 o'clock, but it's really done when it's 11, right? Because that'll be the end of, sorry, I'm just asking for more time here. I make the rules, okay? This is my channel, so, let's just bring that in there, snake hook, bring that there, and then, so this leg goes over, but this is going to intersect, and that's going to get messy, so I'm just going to probably, oh boy. How can I expect to do something on time and watch the clock? Yeah. Man, stuff, it's hard. No? And then somehow this is the other side of him right there. So if we could just, yeah, just take, this right here. Oh my god. Oh, and it's 10:02. Sorry, that was totally overboard. But yeah, there you have it. Bernie Sanders and chair. Oh well, come on. Let's get some lighting in here. It's actually, you know, it's a lot more interesting when it looks real. You know, so. And then let's make this. Yeah. EY2, EY negative 2, EY2, EY, wait, what am I doing? EZ2, no. It's hard to model the cycles on it, but you can do it. Just, you know, it's wasted time. So let's just scale this out. So it must be something like that. Okay. Oh my god, no, this is horrible. Okay. Let's make sure this is all mesh, convert to mesh, so that was curve. And, okay, I'm challenge is extended to 10, okay? Yeah. So, and then chair isn't metallic. It might be metal underneath, but it has a plastic finish to it. Things are either metal or they're not. There's no in between. I don't know why they put a slider there, but that's kind of a misconception about that. Oh, and did we save this? Let's just make sure that these gloves are saved. It looks like there are these no asterisk up there. Let's save our file, our scene, and yeah. So 6 minutes. So and at this point, I'm just going to join these, and then glasses. Let's just, okay. 2 material IDs. It's kind of wasteful to have 2 material IDs on like one tiny little thing, but yeah, here we go. Because it's just faster. In this case, you know, so glass, and glass has to have some kind of thickness, otherwise, you know, doing some kind of crime. So extrude, don't bring it out, but Alt S extrudes it along those, scales it along those normals. I think they call it fatten and shrink, which isn't very as descriptive, but also isn't as wordy. So, bridge edge loops, and then assign that. So now it's got some glasses. Oh, so now we see we have to make this glass. There's a little bit of refraction going on there. It's nice. And He's got these wonderful shoes that we couldn't take the time to model and, you know, really do them justice. But, you know, for now, it's just, you know, that'll do. And turn off down topo. Oh yeah, Control R. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, Shift N, fix all normals. Yeah, that's good. And up the resolution here. So what's going on with this leg, huh? Oh, it's got open geometry, and that's confusing it. So just fill that side there, and this. Now we shouldn't have any trouble. These legs will be fused together, but this body's trash anyway, so yeah, don't plan on using it again soon. Okay. Yeah, so just try it again and then fix that. And now, like, we could sculpt all these little nuances, but we do only have 3 minutes. We could okay, 2 minutes, so that leaves just enough time for texture painting. So, whoa, okay. Oh, no. Sculpt mode, Control R. That was a loop, makes the edge flow just off the chain for that. Okay, UV editor. I'm gonna just do Smart UV Project. Smart UV Project is actually very dumb, because this is ridiculous in terms of organization. Way too many islands, very wasteful. But it's fast and dumb, and that's what we're doing right now. So, no textures. Give it a texture. Okay. And then. Yeah, it would have been nice if the head was still a separate object, but it's not, so let's just forget filling and taking the time with that. It's just going to be faster to do a bad job. So, let's just, yeah, and then change this to space. If you get too far, it's going to get slower because it's editing more pixels at a time. You know, unlike if you're just using a 2D painting app, it's usually pretty clear when you're editing more pixels, but you might have something with denser pixels per your screen area, so it's slower than you think it might be. Like if this same mesh was back here and I accidentally painted on it over there, you know, then it'd be suddenly a lot slower, and I'd take a little bit of loading time, you know, so. So, let's go in this. I guess I'm, okay. Oh, and this, yeah, lasso select. Saves you so much time. There are all those other fancy selections, but like, yeah, this will really wrangle your textures. And then let's get the back of the neck, even though that's not seeing the camera, and we don't need to be taking time on that. Oh, it's 10:10. I can't extend this any further. Okay, invert the selection. Let's actually use that with face mode, so it's more consistent with the faces, because that's, yeah, it's a better selection. And then, yeah, this, and then bring this saturation down. And then bring this down. Oh yeah, and then mask. Yeah, nice. then oh yeah, let's turn on the wireframe when we do that. So let's redo that. And then we can always approach it from a different angle and just like that. It's kind of a nice way to do things. So let's bring his pants up a little bit. And then finally, the shoes. Come on, we gotta do those justice. Those magnificent shoes. All right. Let's turn this up. Bring it down the saturation. We got a nice brown. And yeah, so that's, let's test this out. Now place our camera. Oh, and then this, yeah, this is going on front page of ArtStation. Gotta get the angle right, match this, yeah. I guess it's just a straight on view. And then it's actually because this has been taken from far away. Let's bring this back. So GZZ, if you press it twice, it's relative to the view, and we can just bring it out. Yeah, close enough. And then, yeah, once things are far away, the focal length, right? So, because this is kind of zoomed in from a camera that's probably even further, like that. That's why everything looks very flat. So if we bring this closer, yeah, there we have it. OMG, yeah, oh my god, right? But yeah, I mean, this is really what we're here for. I think we did a pretty nice job with these. Yeah, I mean, you can try it for yourself. Let's just position these a little better, so. Yeah, nice. We did it, guys. Lol. Yeah. Yeah, I'm laughing with you, bud. Yeah, there it is. We did it. It's his mittens. Yeah. Yeah, and let this model not be a reflection of the quality of Bernie Sanders, but the quality of me as an artist, okay? So, yeah, just want to make that clear. And, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this, learned some things, and, yeah, have a great night. Take care of yourselves.